I didn't want to believe in ghosts. Not only because it makes you sound crazy, but also because if there were ghosts, that would mean that you could see ghosts. And I don't like thinking about what might be up there. I moved into this house a year ago, and ever since I've been hearing things at night, like floorboards creaking, doors opening. I put it all down to settling, new house, old house. Things expand and contract with humidity and temperature. That's what I tell myself anyway, even though sometimes it sounds like someone walking across the hallway right above my head. I didn't want to think about ghosts, but when I got sick of the noise, I decided to check it out. This is what I found. It was a small smile drawn in dust on the ceiling, and now I can't stop seeing them. They're everywhere. They started appearing after I cleaned the house for the first time. I thought it was weird, but I shrugged it off. When I looked up, I saw a smile. It wasn't much. Just two little lines next to a blob that kind of looked like a tongue. But then, as I walked around the house, I started to see more and more of them. At first, I couldn't tell what they were. They were just shapes made of dust. But as my eyes adjusted, I saw that they were smiles. There were big ones and little ones, some upside down, some sideways. There were smiles on the baseboards, on the windowsills, on the tops of doors. There were even smiles on the cobwebs in the corners. Now, you could probably just write this off as some sort of trick of the light. Maybe the sun was setting at just the right angle, making shadows look like smiles. Except here, no matter where I went, the smiles followed me. If I turned off the lights, they vanished. But as soon as I turned them back on, there they were again, smiling down at me from every surface. Now, I have no idea how long they'd been there for, hidden in plain sight, because this house has been empty for years. I had no idea how long they'd been watching me. But it wasn't just the smiles. Then there was the music. At first it was just a hum, like someone had left a radio on in the next room. But when I walked in, there was nothing there. There was no radio, no TV, no one else in the house. I don't know why I didn't call the police. Guess I just assumed it was some sort of draft or maybe a pipe or something. It's an old house. Things make noises. I tried to ignore it, but the hum became a song, and the song became music. And then I heard drums. At first it sounded like someone tapping the pipes in the walls, but then the music got louder. One night I woke up and I heard a full drum solo, crash, crash, boom, 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 and then silence. There was also scratching, like someone was clawing their way across the floorboards. Sometimes it sounded like metal on wood, sometimes like fingernails on glass. Then there was laughter. At first it was muffled, like someone under a blanket, then louder, more distinct. I'd hear cackles and guffaws coming from the hallway outside my bedroom. Then sometimes I'd wake up, and there would be footsteps in the hall. Slow, dragging steps, like someone walking through mud. I'd listen, and then the footsteps would stop. Then I'd hear a knock, 3 sharp knocks on my door. Then silence. Now, I can't sleep anymore. The other day I finally worked up the courage to open up the door. I stood at the bottom of the stairs and called out. No one answered, so I started to climb. Each step was harder than the last. The air grew colder, and the stairs creaked ominously. And as I climbed, I saw more smiles. Hundreds of them covering every joist like some kind of perverse confetti. When I reached the top of the stairs, I looked around. The attic was dusty and dark and smelled like mildew. There were boxes piled everywhere, but none of them were labeled. I felt something brush against my leg and I jumped. I turned around and saw a cobweb. It was huge, like something out of a horror movie. It was latched onto the banister with what looked like a spider. Then I saw the hole in the web where something had crawled through. I backed away slowly, then ran to my room. Now I keep my door open during the day so I don't get trapped, so I won't have to sleep. Sometimes I hear singing. It's always just out of range. I can never quite make out the words, but I can feel the vibrations in my bones. At night, I sit in the corner of my room with a flashlight, watching the shadows on the ceiling. Sometimes I see a face, a man's face grinning down at me. He has no eyebrows, just 2 holes where his eyes should be. I've tried to leave. I've tried to sell the house, but no one will buy it. I've asked real estate agents to put a sign in front of the house. Just put a sign in front of the house. No one does anything for me. I don't want to sound crazy, but I know what I've seen. I know what I've heard. There are things in this house that don't want me here. Things that have been here a lot longer than I have, and if I let them, they'll take this house back. They've taken everything from me already. They took my dog. I had to put him in a shelter. He wouldn't stop barking at night. In the middle of the night, I'd hear chains dragging metal moans. And then in the morning, he'd be gone, hiding under the bed, whining. I took him to the vet. He was fine. I had to give him to my neighbor. They've taken my sanity. I haven't slept in months. Sometimes I hear whispering voices telling me to end it all, to join them, to let them help me. They've taken my hope. Every night I think it's going to get better, that maybe I'll sleep for once in a long time. But every morning I wake up and there's another smile on the ceiling, another piece of music, another memory that isn't mine. If it gets any worse, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to have to abandon this house, abandon everything. I wish I could show you what I'm talking about, but you can't see it, not unless you're me, not unless you're actually here. So let me describe it to you. Take a look around. What do you see? What do you feel? I bet you feel something, don't you? You feel it now, don't you? What do you hear? Do you hear the music? Can you feel it vibrating in your bones? Can you see the faces in the shadows? Can you see the smile? Do you see the smile? Because I do. I see it everywhere. I can't get away from it. It's everywhere.